Hey, I want to share something today with this Jeep. This is a 2009, and whether you have a check engine light with an evaporative emissions leak, either large or small, or in my case, I came out in the morning and I found this. And I know I got gas the day before, and I was talking to the attendant, said he can go back inside and I'll finish it out, and I know that the cap went back on. But what I didn't realize is that the ratchet mechanism that overrides when you're tightening, and I've already modified this so it no longer does it. It goes as tight as I want, and I like that. This is a cap from an old truck of mine, and that's what I mean by ratcheting. It gets to a certain point and the thread stops, but the knob keeps turning. Well, this and another Jeep I had both did the exact same thing, and they just get, I don't know, they just too many ratchets and they no longer work, and the caps aren't cheap. But I found out for a couple dollars of epoxy you can modify this cap to do what I did, where it is tight and I could turn it. I mean, I could crank that down till you need a tool to get it off. I like that. So it's all about the seal. See, the seal is down here, and that's what seals up against the filler pipe. So when the car gets activated in the morning, usually, and it runs its test, it puts either a vacuum on the tank, or one way or the other they test the purity of the system to make sure it can hold pressure and not let evaporative emissions escape into the atmosphere. This is what all that matters, is the seal, really. That's usually the only problem that goes either wrong, or in my case, you just can't get it tight enough. And I think most of the time that's the problem with these caps with a ratchet on them. So I'm going to show you how I modified mine. And again, here's one that does the ratcheting, and it even has a seal, but it doesn't have OBD2 on this. It's an old 94 Chevy pickup. So let me show you how I modified it, and maybe you'll want to do this too. Thanks for watching. Alright, so here's all you got for your modification. If you look inside, you can see this is how it ratchets, and that's that plastic piece down here on top of another one. Here's your seal that has to be tight against the gas tank, otherwise you'll throw a code for evap leak. Now I can get this apart pretty easy, but there's tabs going all the way around on the blackout door part of the cap that you have to move away from this without damaging anything. Now I've been able to actually, I'm going to try not to block too much, but go around and push a few of them. When I'm pulling backwards, and the cap starts to come out, and I keep working my way around, and there it is. Alright, so there's all we got inside, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put epoxy around here. I'm going to clean off this scuzz first, and I'll come back. But then I'm going to put epoxy back on here. So this piece, the two ratcheting pieces, glue together, and now it becomes a solid cap that you control with your own strength. So I'm going to clean it up and I'll come back. Okay, I just had a message from my camera that had too many videos stored, so I just had to delete it. I don't know if I'm going to be repetitious on this part, but I cleaned these two pieces out somewhat, not anything special. If this was to come apart on you and fall apart and then you don't know where anything goes, it looks like that. This spring is keyed on either side. It fits there like that. This will pop in, only goes in kind of one way until it'll find its home, because there's a spot for that other tang on that spring to go. So I just mixed up some epoxy here. I'm using JB Weld. Use whatever you like. RTV may work, but it's, you know, because it's somewhat flexible when you're done, it might not last for a long period of time, and yet it might. So what I'm doing now is mixing up the epoxy, and you got a time limit on this, so you kind of need to move along. And I'm just going to load it right in there, because this ain't coming apart again. And it doesn't matter if it squishes through to the black outside cap part. That's the whole idea. And I'm just, nothing fancy here, just getting the epoxy spread around so it's going around all four sides, or this whole circumference, I should say. Alright, so we're pretty good. That's probably enough to do it. I'm going to stack it a little bit, use it all up. Okay. Put that off. Now where you don't want it is you don't want it to come anywhere near that seal. Okay, that's not the place we want to see that, because that's where it has to seal up against your gas tank. So now I just find the two pieces and push them back together, twist a little bit, you know, maybe that's the ratcheting action. It won't be happening much longer. I'm just going to go around and clean up a little bit of the slop. And pretty much that's it. Okay, there you have it. So I'll just let it sit for about 24 hours and then it's ready to screw right down tight on the filler neck like I showed you in the introduction. So that's all how it's done, and hope this helps a few people out, save you a couple bucks. Cost of epoxy is cheaper than the cap. Plus it's not going to happen again. This is a better way to go, in my opinion. Thanks for watching.